So what's going on, guys? I bring you another video where I talk about everything interesting to me in the world of technology. And I usually don't talk about politics, but in this video I am going to be mentioning something about the presidential town hall debate that happened yesterday between President Obama and Mitt Romney. By the way, I think President Obama beat the shit out of Mitt Romney, but that's just a personal opinion. So one of the parts I really found interesting about the debate was that the moderator mentioned Apple. Out of all the companies in the US to mention, this was probably the best one because they are the kings of outsourcing labor to China. This is how they became the #1 company in America, and I'm glad the moderator had the courage to mention them, because when they brought up the issue of outsourcing labor to China, usually people will not mention Apple, and I think that has to do with the media support for this company. You know, they create some cool products and people are just very interested in it and they want to tell the great stories about it, but behind the scenes we know these things are being manufactured in China, and this is a problem for our economy. So both President Obama and Mitt Romney start talking about the manipulation of the currency by China. We talk about Apple in a way about their products, but it really has to do with the way they conduct their business. And I tried to talk about this before, but apparently all the people in the media and even people on YouTube, they want to talk about why people like iOS or Android. Come on, when you compare phones and you start saying, well, I don't get why people don't like Apple, there is a reason why people don't like Apple. It could have to do with their phone, but if you get to the real issue, it's about how they run their business and how they made their money. They became the most powerful company in America because they like to outsource their labor to China. And this is why they were mentioned in a presidential debate. If you don't think it's true that this company became so successful because of the way they manufacture their goods, then you don't understand the economy and you don't understand manufacturing. So the next time somebody in the video or in the media says, I don't get why people hate Apple so much, let's talk about how the company actually handles their business and what they give back to the community. A lot of people will argue and say they're not responsible for giving jobs to Americans. Okay, that's your point of view. But if you notice, when individuals become successful, say from a bad neighborhood, like a celebrity, you know, even rappers go back to the hood, and they give back to the community that supported them, and they thank them for making them what they were, you have to understand, there are times when you can give back to the community, and you don't need to be told. Do you need to be told to give to a charity? Do you need to be encouraged by the government to do it? You know, there's times where I think Apple can actually just produce and manufacture things in America on their own if they wanted to. They don't want to. And even something as simple as, like, say, a cover for a phone. They can produce it in America for cheap costs and sell it to their consumers and still make money off of it. But it's the greed that motivates them to outsource their labor to a country like China. And some people even compare this company to Ford. Let's get one thing straight. A company like Apple relies on their goods with manufacturing in China. Ford relies on manufacturing in America. This is nothing but factual information. It's a very interesting topic of conversation because there are a lot of people that like to talk about these issues. They even like to compare and contrast why people dislike Apple. If you think that disliking Apple is all about the iPhone, then you just don't understand why people don't like the company. Because a lot of people out there that own the iPhone, they'll support Apple and then they'll start talking about how the government and Wall Street is greedy. How about Apple is greedy? How about they're the kings of actually dealing with a country that supposedly manipulates currency? You might want to look into this next time you want to buy an Apple product. It might be beneficial to you. I know that I buy from a lot of companies in this country that manufacture goods overseas, and I know it's a problem for this economy. But there is an issue with the most powerful company in this country that doesn't give back to the community and doesn't give jobs to the people who support them. And the people who support them are the people walking around with their phones and tablets, computers, and iPods. You're not doing them a favor by producing all these jobs overseas. And I think more people need to hold them accountable. Let's just think about it. The next time you watch a video comparing an iPhone to some other phone, what would you rather hear? Your neighbor might be able to get a job because there's manufacturing jobs in America, or do you want to hear yet another comparison with two different phones? Give me a break. I think it's time people actually talk about real issues. And yes, the technology people, you guys are the ones bringing up why people hate Apple. Maybe before you choose to have that ad on your video, you should do some research and talk about important issues that affect real people. Not just this mindless bullshit that have to do with two phones. I mean, really, does that really affect you on a day-to-day basis? Stop trivializing and simplifying why people don't like Apple. There's valid reasons to dislike that company. While they're interested in lawsuits, they can be giving back to the community that has supported them and made them the most powerful and richest company in America. That is the truth. It has nothing to do with anything else. So that's it. You guys can tell me what you think about all of this stuff. Put a comment down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.